This is a story about think before you click on social media. As an immigrant from India, social media means something very different to me. It means a connection to my family and friends scattered all over the world. I think it can also be great for democracy and for our society. The information that is flowing on social media is a shift from my imagination. Although it only opened to the public in 2006, Facebook reported serving 1 billion monthly active users at the end of 2012. Moreover, 80% of these users reside outside the US, and services are available in 70 languages, making Facebook a worldwide phenomenon. For this reason, during the story, when I mention social media, I might be referring to Facebook, as most studies on social media have been with Facebook, considering the sheer number of users on this social network. Here is the usage of the other social media platforms like Google+, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and many more. Like many things in our lives, social media can be used for good or evil. The rise of social media is definitely correlated with the rise of narcissism in our society. Our self-esteem depends on how many likes we get, how many followers we have, and whether or not someone texts us back. We feel inadequate when we see others' seemingly perfect lives in impressive, attractive pictures and updates, which may not be necessarily authentic. Even when we fulfill this urge to make ourselves feel better by bragging via an Instagram picture about a great meal we had or an awesome concert we went to, it seems like that happiness is lessened once we look at other people's feeds. This element of competitiveness makes us part of this worldwide reality television game. As I scroll through Facebook or Instagram and see that 100 people liked a photo of me, it makes me feel great. I just realize what I'm doing. When I FaceTime, think about this and see if you are doing it too. When I FaceTime, I just end up looking at myself in that little box instead of the person I'm talking to. Isn't that terrible? It is yet another symptom of the narcissism that is growing with the rise of social media and smartphones. Research shows that during face-to-face conversations, 30 to 40% of our talks are about us. But in online conversations, 80% of our talks are about us. Some research has also shown that when you stop having off-screen interaction, you lose empathy. One loses the ability to have genuine reactions to real problems and real things. Is social media ruining our relationships? Our obsession with our smartphones has not only changed the way we spend time, but the way we feel and think. Many of us are constantly thinking about a status or a tweet that we have posted even when we are doing something else. If we do not get likes soon, or our tweets do not get retweeted, we start to worry that we are not important enough. Why do we connect these insignificant messages so much to our self-worth? Studies have shown that social media has an impact on our happiness. A direct link has been made between too much time spent on Facebook and depression. A study showed that 1 in 3 respondents felt more dissatisfied with their own lives after spending more time on Facebook. Unprecedented access to other people's photos also triggered emotional pain and resentment. Remember, some of the main reasons for people to use social media are staying connected and for pleasure. The way social media is used causes us to forget that everyone has problems, and we only see our own. In reality, the desirable likes and comments cause our bodies to release dopamine, the chemical related to pleasurable feelings, which can leave you wanting more and can be addictive. Think about this. Now we text people, we Instagram, we whine, we tweet, we Facebook, just to feel that again. Also, social networking gives us one-click interactions instead of richer, fuller interaction. Research shows that 5 to 10% of social media users are unable to control how much time they spend online. It is a psychological addiction rather than a substance addiction because social media provides immediate rewards with limited effort. The brain brings to rewire itself, making you desire more because the brain is plastic, meaning it changes based on our behavior and experiences. We find ourselves using technology for a variety of reasons, ranging from anxiety to pleasure. We are in the obsessive compulsive level. which are anxiety-driven issues, not too far away from a psychiatric disorder, say obsessive-compulsive disorder. According to a study, the more women are exposed to selfies and other photos on social media, the more they compare themselves negatively. So, there is a link between time spent on social networks and negative comparisons about body image. Our bodies play a key role in creating our sense of identity. We clearly need to figure out how to best use social media in a way that makes us feel good. Numerous studies have shown that when women are depicted in sexualized ways, they are perceived as less intelligent, less competent, and less capable. Women in non-sexualized photographs are perceived as more competent. They are also seen as prettier and more desirable as a friend. We should remember that clicking is a public act. There is growing pressure for people to like other people's posts and promote brands. Disagreement is frowned upon and pushed to back-channel conversations. Public disagreements are uncomfortable, except that when dialogue occurs in social media, it's amplified across tens of thousands of people who collectively squirm at the spectacle. But remember, social media engagement is about joining a global conversation. Think about it. Why are there no dislike buttons on social networks or a "Hey, I disagree with you" poke? People are shunned for public sharing disagreements and often relegated to the fringes of social communities. They are labeled contrarians or criticized for hijacking conversations for their personal gain and promotion. Let's talk about positive dissension. We should not be afraid to debate our beliefs, provided that public dissension is not offered through hate speech or personal attacks on others, but exchanged in a professional discourse. Social media has provided us the opportunity to create a culture of open dialogue. Yet I fear we are wasting that opportunity. We should embrace and celebrate public disagreements. Of course, marketing gurus do not encourage disagree or dislike features on social media, as debate and discourse is difficult to quantify and it's not a money-making venture for them. As social media becomes the norm in our lives, maybe we need to learn how to handle disagreements in a positive and constructive way. Maybe we can go so far as to encourage it. A group decision is always more powerful than a decision made by a single member. The mass collection of connected people online must not become the net sum of likes, shares, and tweets. Open public debate must be initiated and promoted. There are many positive social impacts of social networking sites. They are being used to keep up with close social ties. For example, I use it to stay in touch with my family and friends. Many of us use it for pleasure or when we are bored. Facebook users are more trusting than others. They have more close relationships. They get more support from their social ties, and they are more politically engaged than most people. Facebook revives dormant relationships, say from high school, extended family, co-workers, college friends, and so on. Be conscious that social media encourages an obsession with self-image, shallow friendships, and self-promotion. We must be willing to make a personal sacrifice to change the way we use social media. You do not need to give up the internet. Change the way you click. Clicking is a public act. If you think that you are someone who has gone too far, you're obsessed with the social media, I would encourage you to try a digital detox, to abstain from all tech, except work for a set period of time. I imagine that for the first couple of days you will be restless. You will be looking for your phone where it is not, and you might feel insecure about your relationships. Think about if you are using Facebook as a medium for self-promotion rather than as a way to connect with your family and friends. I would continue to use social media, but for the right reasons. I want to be emotionally connected to my Instagram, as I have some great pictures that I maybe took a year ago. I want to be intellectually connected to my Twitter, as it is my source of information and news. And I want to be socially connected to Facebook, as it is a powerful tool for networking and marketing. Social media is more than just silly and harmless tweets, likes, and blogs. For the most part, it may seem like it, But social media can have negative effects on users' self-esteem and relationships. Stop sharing things that lack substance. Do not post popular links and images just to be validated by others. Social media can have vast implications and be a way to channel the worldwide nature of the internet to effect social change. The message is no longer coming from the top down. In fact, you have the opportunity to make a difference by clicking in a mindful way. It is no longer the case that a few powerful elites control the media and the rest of us are passive receivers. In fact, increasingly, we are the media. Everything we blog, everything we tweet, every time we click, it is a public act of making media. We are the new editors. We can decide what we give our attention to. Remember that the more we click on something, the more it gets shared. We can shape the culture we live in by clicking on stories that are meaningful and good for our communities. We can use social media to become part of the movement to enrich ourselves, our societies, and to ultimately change the world. Because clicking is a public act. Think before you click and click responsibly.